So if you're building a Norcal 40 that you might want to follow along a little bit, I'm just to the point where I'm about to start connecting up connectors and wires so I can control the board as I start to test it. So I thought I'd point out a few things for you if it's a mystery like it was for me a bit. So on the bottom of the board here, there are a bunch of pins in a row, and you can see they're labeled R2, and those are labeled 1, 2, 3, and then there's another set of pins labeled 1, 2, 3, but there seems to be no designation of what that is. And then there's another set of pins, and you notice there are 1, 2, and 3, but there are only 2 holes. So right below me here's the explanation of those. So this is indeed R2. This is actually the RIT switch. So the center of the switch goes to the middle, and the RIT off connection goes on the left, the RIT on connection goes on the right. Then the next one is actually R16, which is the RIT offset. I guess we could label that right now. So that's RIT offset. And you can see there are 3 designations, 1, 2, and 3, but 1 and 2 get connected together. So there's only 2 pins that you need from this. So R16 connects to that to be the RIT offset with only two of those pins, these last 2. Then over here on the right, there's R17, which is the main tuning. It's the same thing. The potentiometer gets connected. The resistor goes across those 2 pins that you can see here and here. And then the wiper goes back and connects to the same wire. So that can be done out on the control. So there's only 2 wires for the tuning. And I seem to have actually written RIT by the wrong thing, so I'll cross that off. This is the tuning. Oh, pardon me, that's R17. Can't read my own writing. Okay, then on the other side of the board, we'll just drag it over here, I guess. You can see on the top, there's all these sets of pins and connectors. And I had already gotten 2 of these 4-pin ones in before I realized I was covering up the labels. So I went on to the old Qrp-tech site and found the original definitions of these things. So these 2 here that I haven't yet put a connector in, this is a 3-pin connector, but they've taken the middle pin out. So you'll have to take one of these 3-pin connectors, heat it with a soldering iron, and pull out that middle pin. Then you can use the outside 2 pins for your antenna jack, or alternatively, you could just solder the coax in these 2 holes. Then the next one you can see should be labeled J2. You can see just a bit of the J2 hanging out underneath the corner here. That's actually 2 sets of wires. The left 2 are the power connector, that's here, and the right 2 are the power input. So the minus is this connector here, and the plus is the one on the right. So that's power switch and power input. Then these were built by the Qrp-tech guys, or the Qrp-tech guys, I should say, as optional sockets. So you don't need them, but you can use them. So it turns out they brought out 8 volts power to here, and they put a ground in the middle, and then they put this, which is just a connection to this empty wire here. So if you had built an option or you wanted to pull off some signal off the board, you could connect it here and then take it out of this connector. I haven't yet thought about what they would have done with that optional number 2, but somebody probably can chime in and tell me what optional 2 was actually built with power ground and some kind of signal wire. And then this other one is optional number 1, and you can see here that it also has 8 volts on the leftmost pin, and then it has ground on the middle pin, and then it's actually connected through. You can see this pin connects to this pin, and that connects to this pin. And those are all connected to the key. So I suppose you could put a keyer into one of them and a straight key into the other, something like that. Or if you wanted a separate line here for key, you could do that. Maybe if you put an onboard keyer board somewhere inside your cabinet. And then on the last part here, these 4 pins, the left 2 are the key jack. There's a ground in the key line, and I think I said that backwards. There's a ground here and a key line here, and then the speaker is here. It's also got a ground and then an audio the audio line comes in on the rightmost side that goes off to the coupling capacitor. So those are all the connectors. Once you get to the point of starting to connect things up, that should make it easier for you to reference sort of what those look like if you want to take a screenshot. And then down here, what these look like. And that gives you those. And let's see. Let me quickly go grab I think that's about it. So thanks for watching.